Hi everybody, welcome to Anti-Ruggers United. Today we have an AMA with Walt Finance. So let's get started by Chris. Introduce yourself, introduce any other team members you have, or they could introduce themselves. Tell us a little bit about background, about what you do, where you're from, like what's your experience with crypto and how you guys got started on this project. And then after that, we'll go talk about the actual project itself.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I'm Chris Esparza. I'm the CEO of Vault Finance. Did my camera go off?
Nah, yeah, I think so. Froze.
Let me see here. Let's restart it. See. Okay, I think that's good. All right. I'm Chris Esparza. I'm the CEO of Vault Finance. We have a token, hyperdeflationary token here that's going to launch on the Binance network. Me personally, I'm from the healthcare. I'm a healthcare professional. I come from the healthcare background. I'm out of Dallas, Texas, here in the United States. My team is Mason, who is our Chief Business Officer, and Ross, who is our Chief Operating Officer. I think they're in here in the room, but my background being in healthcare, I was a healthcare professional. I'm a Red Raider alum. I'm all about my Texas Tech Red Raiders. And, I've always had a interest in entrepreneurship. I've been owning businesses since I was 13, mowing lawns and selling it to the local big lawn guys. And, I've had quite a few businesses up to this point. So I've always had the entrepreneur spirit. But then, it was my passion trading in the markets, trading in the stock market, stock options, doing that kind of thing. As crypto started to really take a solid foothold, my interest started to turn towards Bitcoin and some of these big ones, and then eventually to the DeFi space. So out here in Dallas, I'm the CEO, operate a company that does revenue cycle management for healthcare professionals, medical centers, hospitals. Pretty much we help them run efficiently, help them make money, help them deal with insurance and process claims, all of that good stuff that's difficult and not fun to do. So we're very much on the business side and managing the business so that it can make money. So that's what I do professionally out here. And besides being the CEO of Vault Finance, I can let if Mason and Ross would like to kind of tell a little bit about them. I think that now's a good point.
Is it here? Okay, I see Mason's here.
Hey, sorry guys, I was on mute. Yeah, it's Mason. I'm the CBO. I've been working with Chris and Ross for a while now. My background, just a little about me, is in business and entrepreneurship. It's what I went to school for. I've been in a sales agency for the past 14 years. I pride myself on my ability to connect with people and network. So a big part of my business is business development and strategic management. Been in the crypto business since about 2019, and in DeFi since I learned the ways of pancake swap with SafeMoon back in the day. So that's just a little bit about myself.
All right, this is Ross. Also, he's also muted. Ross, if you're trying to talk, you're muted.
Hear me?
Yeah, could hear you.
Hi, I'm Ross, the COO. Thanks very much for having us this afternoon. A little bit about me. I started my career working in the private banking arm of a major global bank, working with high net worth clients. I took a complete career change after a couple of years and actually moved into education. I'm involved a lot in my current job today with sort of youth work and community projects. transferable skills from both of those jobs. Obviously, I've got a financial background, but also I really enjoy working with people, from diverse communities. Pride myself on my communication skills. And, something that you'll probably hear Chris talk a lot about this afternoon is integrity and professionalism. And it was sort of those qualities that myself, Mason, and Chris share that sort of really got us chatting to each other in other projects, and really sort of underpins everything that we're trying to do here at Vault.
All right, awesome. So, how do you guys know each other, by the way? Like, how do you guys get together? You're muted.
There we go. We actually met in the crypto space. So, like I said, we're mods for different groups, and it gave us the opportunity to work together. And for me personally, it let me see their character and also just kind of their work ethic as well too. Obviously, I knew on the project side that there's a lot of moving parts. It's a multidisciplinary kind of business, and that it takes putting in the work, the long hours, and also the right personality. It takes the right person to be able to do this and to do it well. So as putting this together, I was real fortunate to get Mason and Ross on the team because they're quality guys. They have quality backgrounds, and they bring a lot of value to the team.
Okay, all right. And is this project, is it registered LLC or any type of registration yet?
Yeah, we're in the process of incorporating in the British Virgin Islands.
All right, cool, awesome. All right, so do you have a presentation, or do you want to just do like sales pitch about your project? Just give us like a little bit of like overall scope about what it's all about.
Sure, I can give you an overall scope. So pretty much Vault Finance is something that's come out of necessity, necessity for us and necessity for the DeFi space. Essentially, what brought us into this project is the fact that we saw a lack of transparency, professionalism, that it doesn't make sense, and it's not where our standards should be. It's not where investors' standards should be. So right off the bat, we brought together a group of people that not only have the skill set to put together a project and to carry it forward and to be successful as a business, but we had to have the right characteristics. We had to have the right tools on our tool belt and the right kind of things inculcated in our heart, pretty much. So you'll find that we are very transparent. That's one of our core values. We're professional. That's another one of our core values. And that we're going to bring superior utility, which is another one of our core values. So it makes no sense bringing, having poor people running the wrong people running a business. But it also doesn't make sense bringing things that people are already doing and that don't make a difference. Because ultimately, this business and us all being here as investors are here to make money, and that's really the source of it. But to do it safely, to do it efficiently, and with the right people is equally as important. So, I'll start by saying that. But you'll see that Vault Finance, when you look through the white paper, it's a holder's project. If you're a diamond hand holder, if you like what you see, and you're someone that sees it through and not flip it on the first day, you'll see a lot of value come your way. We're all about value here, and that's the reason why on day one we'll be releasing 6 utilities. So, and that's right, I said 6. So that's something you don't see in other projects, and there's a reason why we're doing that, because the first one being our Celis contract. What we're looking to do is that doesn't define who we are as a business, but our first offering shows that we're wanting to make a difference in this space. We're wanting to make a difference in the tokenomics space and to fix a problem that is inherently the Achilles heel for a lot of projects. And so that's just our first offering. We have quite a few other utilities are coming out with, but we're looking to be revenue producing day one. And that's really what a business should do in the first place. So you'll see that we operate as a business, and the way we conduct ourselves and the strategic partnerships and the different moves we make as a business. And so in an overall aspect, that's kind of a lot of the background and foundation of who we are as Vault Finance.
All right, that's awesome. So you have the sell less type of contract, and you mentioned a whole bunch of other utilities. Can you go over, like, let's start talking about the utilities, and let's start with the sell less rewards contract. Let's go talk about that one first, and after that we'll go on to the other ones. Yeah,
so this next generation sell less smart contract it's kind of been a unicorn here for a lot of people. Essentially, the problem that every tokenomics coin has right now is that, you know, from an investor standpoint, when you invest your BNB to buy a certain token, you go to the exchange or wherever you're purchasing from. The exchange takes your BNB. Let's say there's a 20% tax. They'll take the BNB because that's very valuable, and they'll take all of it and they'll pull up your tokens. They'll take the 20%, send that to the project, and then they give you the other 80%. So on your end, all you see is I gave my BNB, I got the tokens minus the 20% in my wallet. It's all good, which it looks like that. But and what ends up happening is the other 20% that goes to the project goes in the form of their own native token. And the issue with that is that when they go to give rewards, they have to sell their own token to turn it into BNB, to turn it into BUSD, and then distribute it to the holders. And that causes contract sells on the chart. You see that manifests itself as a whole slew of sells that hit the chart. People that don't know what's going on see that as a whale selling. It doesn't look good for the chart. It can ruin traction that you're trying to build during the day. It's a problem that kind of continues, and the more volume that runs through it, the bigger the contract sells are. And so it obviously is Achilles heel for a lot of projects. I think a lot of us investors see that happen across the chart, see the effects, see the selling that happens as an effect from that, and it causes a lot of sell pressure that's not necessary. So that's not just the only issue though, because those tokens, your native tokens, go into the other wallets as well too. So you see your marketing wallet fills up with your own tokens. Your unlocked wallet does. Your different wallets that you have for the project to use do as well too. So when you're doing business as usual on the project side of things, let's say you need legal done. Let's say, like us, you're looking at getting incorporated, or you have to do a write-up, or you're going to form a partnership and you need a lawyer to write something up. Well, they don't want your tokens. They might want BNB. More than likely, they probably want fiat. So you have to sell your own tokens to do that. Same thing with marketing. You know, some of these crypto marketing agencies will take BNB, but they don't necessarily want your native token. So what you find is that on the project side, you're selling your own tokens to try to get other tokens that can be used for doing business. And your rewards are selling the token to turn around and give BUSD or whatever the reward is. And all of those amount to sells on the chart. So what that seller's contract does is on the front end, takes care of that, deals in BNB, and that way you net no contract sells at all on the chart. And that's significant because while we've been bringing a lot of attention to this to the public, and people are seeing it and seeing that, this is something that shouldn't be happening. This should not be the standard of how the tokens are working. Obviously, it's not an efficient way of doing business. Other projects have wanted to, be involved and try to offset their contract sales as well too. And it's important to note that, foundationally from the front end, we've taken care of that. We haven't done workarounds or anything like that. That this is actually an intended first product for us that is essentially solving the problem so that there are no contract sales, not mitigating it, but actually eliminating it. So that will be a first day one thing that we will have. Will be it will be hidden behind proxy. We will look to license it and allow others to have it. That will also have to hide it behind proxy as well too, and hold the responsibility of protecting it on their end. But ultimately, it'll start with us and us being the first 100% sell-less project out there to hit. Day one, we'll also have a public-private website. Public website being the way that you would typically assume, you know, a crypto project's website would look, but a private site being, well, you'll have to use another one of our utilities day one, which is the wallet, digital wallet with holding tokens, and that's kind of your key to the vault. And you'll be able to get into that private side, which will be members only. And there'll be giveaways, information announcements, you know, ways to gain and benefits and privileges in there, as well as a marketplace to be able to trade in some NFTs and merchandise as well. So there's some interesting little things that can happen on that private side of the website. We'll also day one have a DApp, a rewards dashboard. We felt it was only necessary. I know there's a lot of projects who come out with that after they release, but we felt it was necessary day one to have that, more of a default thing that should be available. If you're going to have rewards, you should be able to claim those rewards, interact, know what you're due, know what you've received, know the value of your investment, all of those types of things. So we thought that was not a privilege, but a necessity to have day one. It should be a default thing that should be given. So we'll have that, the wallet as well. We'll have staking available day one as well too. So that'll come about day one. And then we just released last Thursday on Todd Hart's CEO Corner, we were dropping bombs left and right. The release of Novation, which is our pretty much flagship for sell-less innovations. This launchpad and exchange swapper essentially will help add a trifecta or a hat trick, you could say, to sell-less, to not only impact projects with a contract, but it gives them the opportunity that wherever they're at in their life, whether they haven't launched yet, whether they're growing and maturing, or whether they're matured, about to go through a migration, wherever they're at, to reduce sell pressure and to really be able to help those projects reduce and eliminate contract sells. So that'll be a launch pad, which we will launch off of ourselves first, an exchange, which will be fully sell-less and capable of being able to customizable on the back end, where we can cater to other projects that want to be sell-less and you know what they're trying to accomplish as far as what their long-term and short-term goals are, and a swap for people who have, you know, if they don't place liquidity with us, if they have liquidity somewhere else, they'll be able to tap that liquidity and use that ability to be able to be, you know, to reduce sell pressure as well too. So those are all available day one is what we're doing. And if you take a look at the roadmap, we have quite a few offerings and ambitious things on our roadmap as well too, as well as things that are not on our roadmap that we are talking to that could become, you know, something tangible as well. We just didn't put it on our roadmap because out of transparency, we were still mulling over it, and we didn't want to put something out there and pull it back. And so, you know, what's on our whitelist is what you can expect from us, or what's on our white paper is what you can expect from us.
All right, awesome. So let's go talk about the utilities that you mentioned. Okay, so the sell less rewards contract, that's going to be the contract for your own token, right? So it's not really utility, it's more like I guess a feature of the contract. And but you said you're planning to, is there any plans to incorporate it or get some kind of benefits out of this contract for other projects? Because, you know, anyone could, you know, if anyone wants to take the seller's contract, can't they just like copy your contract and they could have it themselves, or is it going to be unverified on the blockchain, and they would actually have to work with you guys in a partnership to be able to use this?
Yeah, they'd have to work with us. We'll proxy protect it. We'd fielded some questions before where people were, well, okay, well, if I can't look at the code, how do I know it's going to work? If I read code, or I've been someone had hid something behind proxy or something like that, and we'd been rugged or something. So we've had I think that question come up once from each. And so, and what we've said is that, for one, we're KYC through Anonymous, which is quickly becoming the gold standard in what they're doing, facial recognition. We jump through not just hoops, but flaming hoops to, this process to get KYC through them. And they really hold our feet to the fire that if there's, not just if you do something that is not right, but if you move liquidity around without your investors knowing in different things, there's certain thresholds that they hold us to, and they have all of our documentation, all of background checks, domestically, internationally. I mean, we went through a whole process with them, like if you were doing a process with your government almost, to ensure that we were who we said we were, that we represent ourselves correctly, but that it holds us to our responsibility, our fiduciary duty in managing funds and in managing this business in general. So right off the bat, the KYC is a high quality KYC that we have, that we're certified with through Anonymous. Now, when you get to the actual code itself, we're working with two development teams that all kind of in-house as one. One of them, both of them are brilliant all on their own. Together, they're super brilliant. But one of them really specializes in the technical aspect of auditing and things. So, they build with the intention to create quality, and they won't put their name to that if they can't make a quality. But they also have the keen eye to be able to analyze and internally audit themselves. So that's our first layer there. Now, on top of that, we will third-party audit it as well, which is coming in within the next couple of weeks as well. And we're looking at trying to do a CertTech audit for that. We're weighing those top couple ones as far as quality that you get based on what they actually do to audit the contract. We all know CertTech and that having that badge is a big thing, and that they're kind of the market leader as far as that goes. But ultimately, what we're looking for is not just a name. We're looking for what shows the highest, what shows a high quality for its price. But ultimately, it will be third-party audited as well too. So those are all different mechanisms that we put into place to ensure that this contract and ensure that what we're doing is top notch.
All right. So the seller's contract itself, is that going to be in the main token contract, or will that be like a separate contract? Because I'm trying to figure out when you launch your token, that contract itself won't be visible, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you get in, those are questions I can ask. I'm not the developer, so they convey to me in bread dipped in milk, because some of this high mustard kind of things that they do are speaking a complete different language. So, but I can definitely ask that question as far as those details. I know there's different smart contracts to handle different aspects of this. So as far as which ones exactly do what, I don't have the exact answer on that, because I'm not the builder of that.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I can ask. But I'll follow up with them about that. See what they can give without giving the secret sauce, so to say.
Yeah, because I feel like if you're not gonna have it verified, then you have issues with like things like BSC scan update, CMC, CoinMarketCap, things like that. So it would be nice if the actual main contract is verified and visible, and the sell as part of it is like another contract. That one could be, not visible. But yeah, all right. Anyways, yeah, let's move on to. Okay, so you have benefits, BUSD rewards. Okay, let's talk about tokenomics actually. All right, so the tax breakdown is 7% BUSD rewards, 5% unlock the vault, 4% strategic buyback and burn, 2% marketing, 1% development, 1% liquidity. So that's a total of 18%. Hold on. 7, 10.
The total should be 20.
So that's 20 one way, right? So buying 20 and then selling 20.
Correct.
Okay, I feel that's really high actually. I mean, that's probably one of the highest we have seen, right? So can you maybe, okay, let's go over that. So the BUSD rewards, that makes sense. There's a strategic buyback and burn. Other ones, okay, so the unlock the vault, 5%. Let's talk about that. What that entails.
So that's a rewards aspect as well too. Unlock the vault is in our white paper as well, explaining it. But essentially, it is a reward system as well. We're going to have unlock the vault events where pretty much tokens that are bought back from our strategic buyback and burn are we're going to have a burn party, and then we take the unlock the vault and we do a distribution event pretty much to holders. There's a couple of reasons, a couple of our reasons for doing that and not just calling it 12% rewards is, for one, again, we want to reward the holder. We want to reward somebody who will keep holding, but it also gives us a piece of those rewards through the unlock the vault to pick and choose great times to roll that out. Because, for example, times when you might have low volume or times when the market might be a little depressed like it is right now are really great opportunities to be able to roll out and have this event that distributes some rewards as well as a burn party, you can say.
Okay. And do you think the 20%, so that's 40% round trip, do you think that you won't have any issues with volume? Because usually the higher the tax, the lower the volume. And then sometimes it might not even be like, you know what I mean? You might be able to get actually more taxes out of a lower tax just because the volume's higher. There's like some kind of fine line, to work around. Because, for example, if your total tax or buy tax was 10%, so everything was half of what it is, but the volume was like triple, right? Then we would actually end up with more taxes or more funds for all of these wallets. But if you have a really high tax, then yeah, every time it happens, there's a lot of tax, but it will actually basically the volume pressure or the sell pressure, buy pressure will be a lot lower because of the high taxes.
Yeah, I completely agree. In fact, in our AMA we just finished up, I made that exact that exact statement pretty much. It is not our intention. We don't believe that 20% tax is conducive to life long term. I think there's definitely tokenomics projects out there that have higher than 20%, but I don't think that's conducive to life. What we want to do is to remove those aspects that essentially rely on investors to help this project along, to remove those. And that's part of the reason why we want to be revenue producing day one, is that not only will that go back into our strategic buyback and burn, but we want to be self-reliant. And that's something we want to do sooner than later. A lot of those can be removed as we start to become revenue producing, and that's exactly what our intention is. That's really the intention for any business, is that. Now, when you get to the actual remaining taxes, although let's say that might be 12%, let's say, we're still at a point right now where, a lot of tokenomics projects, it seems like the taxes seem to be getting higher and higher. because a lot of times the rewards seem to be getting higher and higher as well. But we're starting to reach a point where we're kind of trying to analyze what the best medium is, right, where that sweet spot is. Because you're absolutely right that even if we, let's say we became self-sufficient and we did this pretty quickly and we got down to, let's say, 12% rewards, we may see 5 times the amount of volume if we made it 5% rewards. And let's say if we had 5 times the amount of volume and that was the sweet spot, you'd actually make more rewards as an investor at 5% than you would having a 12%, which you're absolutely right with that. I agree with you 100%. So, finding that sweet spot, I think, is going to be really important, because tokenomics is a minority compared to the overall crypto arena. And when you start spreading across the taxes, looking at tokenomics in general, 20% is on the higher end of that. So it's something that we're looking, that it's not conducive long term for us. We don't foresee that as being a long term solution. And that's why we're showing up day one with revenue producing utility, and to be able to work that into reducing its taxes and having, quality buybacks and burns.
Yeah, okay. So let's talk about the revenue producing utilities. So is the sell as rewards contract, is that going to be a revenue producing on day one?
Day one, we actually want to list and have it for ourselves. Essentially what we're doing with that and with our Novation products, which is the Launchpad and Exchange, is proof of concept. So we built a bridge to a new world. We want to be the first to walk across that bridge and show that it's sturdy and works well. From there, we will start to actually incorporate other projects with that contract. I'm already in talks with other projects about that have a lot of interest in it. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, we're going to be the first to utilize it. And so exactly on day one, no, not exactly on day one, because it'll be day one for us first.
All right, so the Launchpad and the Exchange, that's the main revenue producing vehicle, right, or avenue for this project. And
well, yeah, I mean, I think on launch, the utilities we have on launch, plus the contract, I think the contract will be a revenue producer, and I'm certain of it. I know the Launchpad, of course, will. That's I think that's a proven fact that Launchpads can do that, as well as the Exchange. And so those two utilities right off the bat that we've created day one can produce revenue, and then that's before we start to roll out after launch, start adding on to some of these utilities, as well as beginning and developing of what you see on a roadmap there are other utilities. Our second secret utility, which, believe it or not, is bigger than everything that we're looking to come with day one.
okay, let me see here. Okay, so I'm also interested about the Exchange and how the revenue producing system will work. Are you going to basically all the revenue, like all 100%, or like is that like a breakdown of what will be added back into the buybacks and burns from the revenue? You have numbers on that yet?
Not yet. We haven't put that into a graphic yet. What we're looking at doing is essentially splitting up the charge between the project and the investor for a certain percentage, and then pretty much we're going to, of course, there's upkeep costs. There's costs with that to make sure that security and all those things, as well as maintenance and having the developers and all those on watch to be ready if anything needs to be changed or altered, or you know, we want to make sure that safety is the #1 priority, and then functionability. So those are all part of that we are considering into the cost as well too. So when we get that number, that's really what's going to start to dictate what part of the percentage that goes to that. But the other percentage we're looking to put into buyback and burn, our strategic buyback and burn, and to feed that and you know, feed it back into bringing value into the token itself.
Okay, so the exchange. Okay, so the launchpad. Is there what are you planning to do with the launchpad? Like because you know, like we have Pink Sale, we have other launchpads like DGEMs, and it's somewhat hard to break into the launchpad space because most project would still go with the ones that are known. So it's probably gonna be an uphill battle, and I know because we are dealing with similar thing in a way to actually get the momentum going. You know, get one project and two projects. Once you start getting projects and people see that, oh, this is successful, this launchpad is doing great. So what do you have, like unique features or incentives or advantages for the launchpad versus like some of the other existing ones?
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple different things that we're looking to, you know, that our launchpad is going to be able to do, and then moving forward, things that we're going to have it begin to start to do. So, you know, right off the bat, we've got, you know, being able to handle multi-tier systems. We're working on strategic partnerships as well that will encourage projects that, you know, typically when they come to a launchpad, the fee that they pay, they may exchange whitelist spots, there may be tokens exchanged, there may be BNB exchanged. Essentially, what we're looking to do is to bring value to the tokens that launch with us by holding their fee and as tokens and not selling them, pretty much creating a permanent holder of them. And we wanted to bring in investors, and we're putting this together on our side and in conjunction with a couple other strategic partners to be able to have a potent investor group that can not only benefit from seeing these projects and encouraging them to you know, come our way, but being part of the investment pool for these projects and being able to benefit from the fee. We're actually not looking to take the fee other than, you know, what might be the operational cost, you could say, but to take the fee and that are in tokens and sell them or do anything like that. We're even talking about just doing a straight BNB fee for it. But what I'd like to see happen is that we can have investment in the projects that launch with us. That's what I would like to see happen, and that those projects can pay with a portion of their tokens, you know, a typical standard competitive fee, but that we hold those, and that any proceeds that come from that the people that are involved, the investors that are involved in pretty much helping this project, hearing this project, be investors in this project, that they can benefit from the rewards. And that way, you know, the different partners can bring together quality investors that can benefit not from just being associated with the launch pad, but the tokens that the projects that choose to launch with it. It'll raise awareness to their project, and they have pretty much a holder through that mechanism and process.
All right, cool. Thank you. All right, so I really like the fact that you guys have utilities, not just some, you know, promises and blowing smoke. And that, I think that would actually definitely help with, you know, holders and investors and believing in you, right? Because a lot of times devs promise, you know, the world, and then they deliver like 1% of what they promise, and then they blame the investors for selling, or they blame the Jeets. Oh, the Jeets are selling, you know. Blame it on them, guys. We tried, and that's really not the case, because the reason why people sell is because they lost faith in the devs. So it really comes back to the devs, you know, and how the investors trust them and the project. So it's good that you guys have utilities coming out and you have perks for holding, like, you know, the BUSD rewards, the vault. And I really do like some of these, like, are fairly unique. It's not just the same, you know, same project every day that we see, you know, oh, it's a play to earn game, and then they have no idea how to create a game or how to play to earn economy works. And I'm like, I already decided in the first 5 minutes of the AMA that, like, this project is shit. I'm trying to be nice to them, you know, but I'm probably not gonna tell that. But I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna go well. But, like, the fact that you guys have all these utilities and the fact that you're not doing a game is a big bonus. Okay.
It's kind of sad when whether they're doing a play to earn game or not is a litmus test on it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, when there's a play to earn game already, it's like, okay, you have to convince us 3 times as hard as any other project. You know, that's how we start off with. So the fact that you guys actually have some real utilities, and, you know, exchange and all that, that's really great. And you will have an exchange, right?
That we've got a play to earn game coming out next month.
Oh, okay, that's it. Okay, that's it. Just bad project.
He's like, well, this last minute of what I said, I'll just edit that out. Yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna take that back.
Yeah, we, you know, with us, it. I've been a business owner. I understand how to and the businesses that I've owned, I've grown them from scratch. I think there's something important to be said from that I don't purchase and improve and pivot around. I build them from scratch. We do the build out on them, and we go from there. And it's very similar with this. And the way that you grow, and that you grow strong in your customer base, or in this case, it's an investor base, is by bringing value. And that's really the big word. And I say it 100 times every AMA, because that's what you have to bring to the party, really. And when you have investors who in the space are jumping around for a quick flip, it shows no real commitment to that a project is really bringing real value. I mean, it's looking for a quick money flip, and it's not a long-term hold. And we want to be that long-term hold. So, you know, we set up our project to incentivize that way. We show up day one with a lot of utilities. We have a lot of great ideas. And then we build out. We continue to build out and fine polish those products and make it to where they're adaptable to the ever-changing crypto environment, so that, you know, we're not stuck in the mud, but that we can adapt with how strategies are changing and with how projects need to change. But then we develop these new utilities as well that are also revenue producing, that also have use, so that we can crawl out of the DeFi space and become a brand. And so you'll see that, you know, all of this is strategy that's put together with businesses and business strategists, that you crescendo your mechanism. You start with a strong foundation, and you fix something. You fix something that everybody's having to deal with. And then you start to crescendo your way with each utility as you start to bring more and more value. And that leads to adoption and the ability to produce more revenue and increase your brand recognition as you move forward. And that's what we're looking to do. And that's why you'll see, you know, Vault Circle and some of these other ones on our roadmap further down the road compared to these ones up front.
Okay, awesome. So I want to talk about some of the things on the roadmap, but first, the one that was curious to me is the wallet. Can you tell us a little bit about because I see there's a digital wallet, and there's going to have a dashboard, and they're going to have an advanced wallet. So can you tell us a little bit about what the wallet will be like? What is the purpose of it? And then, like, upgraded version later on, what that will be?
Yeah, so we wanted day one, when it comes to the wallet, the purpose of the wallet up front is going to be just general use right now for pretty much seeing the value of your investment, things like that. Is it something that changes the world, or like the smart contract? No. Will it be a tangible show of quality? Yes. So it will have use at first to help access the private side of the website and just for general use. But we're not looking to change everyone's lives with this first version of the wallet. What it does is we want people to get used to and start to see the value in this first wallet. And we're going to put a couple of strategies in place to make that wallet more and more adoptable, because when we start reaching our second secret utility and some of these other utilities, there's going to be real use for our token and real use for that wallet. And we want this time in between for people to become more accustomed with the wallet, to feel more comfortable with it, and different things like that. So as we roll into the second version, and there's more bells and whistles, it'll contain the same structure, the same feel, but you'll have all these extra tools on your tool belt of your wallet, and then you'll be able to use them in these different utilities that we're building out that'll produce revenue as well too. So that was the strategy that we put together in that, and that's the reason why the wallet isn't just coming out right there where the second version is, but that it's going to be available day one, and that there'll be a reason to use it day one, although not super in depth, and that will help to build the comfort level with it as we move forward. We also have a lot in terms of education. That's a real important aspect to us. There's a lot of people out there that are crypto curious, and so you'll see if you're in our community that we put together with thanks to Ross, some very easy to understand videos of going through the white paper and what it means, specific ones on what is a sellless contract, what is sellless and why is that important, and what does that mean. And we're also right now currently working on helping crypto curious go from, this is the fiat money I'm holding on my debit card or in my hand, how do I get that turned into crypto? A lot of the education out there starts with, okay, you have a trust wallet, do this, do that. And we're really wanting to start from square one. So having a simple, basic wallet that's easy to use, that we can help implement different systems for people to be able to invest in an easy manner. And again, we're implementing some of these ideas through third-party strategic partners that are out there as well too, that are starting to make a name for themselves. But all of these are processes that inevitably start with an easy-to-use wallet, starts with a lot of value up front, and then we start building and implementing that, the crescendo, as you can say, as these other ones start to develop, and there's a reason for why they're kind of strategically put like that.
All right, awesome. That's a good answer. All right, so I have a couple more questions, and I'm going to ask a question that I never asked on the AMA before, so be prepared for that one.
I like questions.
Before we get to that one, still want to go touch bases on the pre-sales, what's going on with that, with basically the distribution of tokens and the pre-sale amounts and what has happened so far, what's happening in the future. So I see that there is there a seed round? Okay, I see team vesting percentages, burn, pre-sale, private seed round. That's the pink one. Mm-hmm. Okay, 16%. Okay, that's 16%. Pre-sale is 30%. So the pre-sale seed round or the private seed round, that one has happened already?
Yes, the private seed round was in April. It was in mid-April. It was closed door. When we put the team together and we put together our extended team through our mods and such, we ended up having a powwow on exactly who we were going to bring into the private seed rounds. They're not people that are our friends or family or one giant organization or something like that. We wanted our foundation to be made up of savvy crypto investors, people who were proven diamond hand holders, people who exuded the character and professionalism that we do. as well as had a business acumen to see the vision of what we were producing. So we privately tapped people on the shoulder, invited them in, had those private seed rounds, and completed them. Once we completed them mid-April, we opened the doors to the public, started to grow our Telegram room. I think we either just did today or we're about to hit 2,000 members. So, if your community wants to join us for a party with that, we organically grow our whole community. We go through and we pull the weeds of if any bots go in there or anything. We're all about transparency. So, false numbers growing is not it's not a thing for us, but that's how our private seed round worked, and we opened the doors. And so we're currently right now in the pre-sale segment, you can say, growing our community and having the whitelist spots.
Okay, so for the seed round, how much did you say was raised?
We raised over 320 BNB.
And I see that the pre-sale rate for the regular pre-sale is 300 billion per BNB. What was the rate for the seed round?
It was 500.
Okay, 500. Now it's 300. A hard cap of 1,000. And when is the pre-sale happening? What?
Yeah, it'll happen right before we launch. It'll be we're aiming for beginning of Q3, which is July, but that first weekend here in the United States is 4th of July weekend. So through some of our analysis, obviously with the markets closed and people's focus is on family and fun versus financials, that weekend is not really conducive for a launch. We wanted to launch on a Saturday. We also notice as well too that here in the United States, people, that weekend is traveling, spending money, buying fireworks, buying food, doing all of that. So it made financial sense that we put it far enough away from that to where people can be refocused on finance, but also that people have money in their wallets, right? People have money to put towards, they've gotten their next paycheck. They have some money to spend on a great investment if they so choose. So, we're placing the time just based on that. We haven't given an exact day yet because, again, we don't say anything that we don't plan on coming through on, and we have no intentions of changing or pivoting from our positions. So, but we are looking to be towards the beginning of Q3. We're looking to be in July, and that's pretty much where we're at. The pre-sale will occur right before we launch and kick it into high gear.
What launch pad are you going to be using?
That's a tough one. I think it's going to be our own with Novation.
Okay, so the one that you said was going to be the utility for your project, so you're going to be launching on there?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, well, in case it's not ready or you guys change your mind, we are going to have our launch pad ready by then too. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about that.
That's right. Okay. All right.
All right, awesome. Okay, yeah, pre-sale. Honestly, I do like the fact that the pre-sale and the seed round, the differences in tokens is not that high. And it's 300 BNB was raised, and hard cap is 1,000 for this one. So if those numbers get filled, then the ratio of pre-sale versus seed round is really good too. And liquidity 15%. So I see liquidity is 15% and pre-sale is 30. So does that mean that half of the BNB is going to go to? So half of the 1,000 is going to go to liquidity?
Yeah, the liquidity tokens, that 15% is going to get paired with, out of that 1,000 BNB that is raised in the pre-sale, we plan on putting 60% of that. So we plan on pairing 600 BNB to that 15%, which is what, 150 trillion tokens.
Okay. And I think it burned, Diamond Hands Heist, team wallets vested for 2 years. So the team wallets are vested 100% for 2 years. So it's not gonna be locked completely, right, for 2 years.
Yep, they're locked completely. We did not give ourselves any advantage over another investor. You could say of course we're invested in our project, and we're investing more than just money. We're investing time and energy and everything like that, and insanity in some cases. But the tokens are locked for 2 years as a show of trust, and that we are. We're coming to build something. We're coming to produce something long term. That we're not coming to just show up and run. We will receive rewards, just like the rest of the investors as well too.
Okay, so I think honestly, like I got all this. This is all good. Looks reasonable. Liquidity is good. It's not too small. I think it's definitely a good amount. And investing of team tokens. Burn, Diamond Hands. The only thing is, the only thing I don't like really is the high tax. I feel,
Gotcha.
Especially once you have let's say higher market cap. Let's say you do like a 5x, right? Which is going to be no easy feat, with a high hard cap. But then the issue is with high tax like that is for whales, right? Because to continue, going up and up and up and increasing your market cap, increasing your price, you're going to need to have more and more whales and more massive whales.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you go 5x. Let's say, I don't know what the market cap is going to be at the start. Let's say it's like 1 million. Now you're like at 5 million or 10 million. It's going to be a lot harder for like a whale to home. Well, I'm going to put in my 100 BNB, but I won't break even until 40%, So the more X's you guys do, let's say, it's going to be harder and harder for guys to come in at the top and get their initial break even. And I feel like a big issue with that break even, it's like a psychological level. It's not necessarily that they're going to sell their tokens, but people like to see that they're in profit. They're like, well, if I sell now, I'm in profit. But if they're still underwater, or if price dips below pre-sale price, then a lot of guys start fudding. They get emotional, but they might just dump because of I'm losing money on this. I just want to
I got to cut my losses.
Cut my losses and move on to some other project. Because a lot of investors in this space are like that. As soon as they're down, they're gonna start selling.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's not that the tax is not something that is conducive long term. It's not something that we intend to do long term. I think for us, it's our prerogative, and it's a high priority item that we take the revenue and we become self-sufficient as a business. That's something that any business wants to attain as quickly as possible and as safely as possible, whether it's in your part of the world, in your community, or in the digital space. Shouldn't make any difference. We should be able to be so self-sufficient, and the company to be able to operate at a profit on its own. And we feel like we should be able to do that quickly and reduce the taxes. Now, strategically, we are looking at and planning for different methods to help continue the growth and the momentum. So those things have the potential to come up and to help make a difference. But as an overall scheme, 20% is not our long-term solution. So I completely agree with you there when it comes to that. And then as far as rewards will still make up about 12% when you include Unlock the Vault. So at that point, we really have to do analysis on what is the best rewards and sell that to the investors as well too, as to what's the most efficient way of handling that, what's going to be better, and what's going to drive volume and still give them the value or more value. And those are analysis that we'll do when the time comes, and bring that to our investors and and see what the investors, how the investors feel about that. But you're absolutely right about the tax, and I completely get where you're coming from. And at the same time, that's the reason why you see on infomercials and commercials that it's $199.99, but pay $49 now and we'll give you 2 sets of these pans or something like that, because they know you can sell 1 billion pans at $49 and make more money than selling 500,000 pans at $199. And it's the same way with this tax. If we can get 5 times, or let's just say 4 times the value just by halving the tax, that pretty much doubles the rewards that an investor gets because of that volume change. But I have to have data to show that. And I think that's what projects are trying to look at and trying to figure out where that sweet spot is right now. And it's definitely on our radar, and it's our prerogative to pursue that too.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you guys could always change it, right? Let's say like at 5 million market cap or 10 million or whatever, you're gonna lower the tax. So that's always a possibility. So usually the higher you go, let's say 100 million market cap, you wouldn't want to have tax that high. Not absolutely not, right? And 1 billion market cap, you might want to have 0 tax at that point, because you want to be getting onto like the big exchanges like Binance, and you need volume for that, and you basically need to show them that you have the volume.
Exactly.
All right, cool. All right, so there's a couple questions I seen from the group, and I actually wanted to ask some of them myself, because I did see on the roadmap there is mention of SafeMoon swap or partnership, Secret Utility 1 and a SafeMoon swap staking. And Spider asked that, could you please ask them why they are intending to partner with SafeMoon?
Yeah, I know the SafeMoon has come under some scrutiny in general. That's something that we are taking into consideration. Their swap and as far as the system that they're implementing over there gets a lot of attention. Ultimately, we want to do what's best for Vault and for the investors. So, as some of these things start to come out and develop, and as we see where we're going and what's going to happen, that could be altered. I think Mason might have had some. Mason, I don't know if you want to comment or not, but do you want to comment on the potential for the SafeMoon swap and kind of what they bring as far as eyes on them, and whether the juice is worth the squeeze?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, when that was put on our webpage, this was before the scrutiny. So obviously, we're keeping a close eye on what's going on over there with SafeMoon. The original thought is that obviously, if you get on their swap with certain packages, it brings a lot of eyes to the project. There's a very limited amount of projects that are listed on the SafeMoon swap. So obviously that brings eyes in itself. Obviously we've got to do what's right for Vault Finance and for our investors. So if that time comes and SafeMoon swap isn't the right fit, then obviously we don't have to go that way. But to answer your question, that was something that was put there at the beginning because it was something we were interested in. And we'll just keep evaluating it as time goes by.
Yeah, that's essentially what my take is too on that. It was on there before these types of issues came up. We haven't changed it yet, but that's because we're kind of evaluating how the situation kind of plays out in finality. But ultimately, like you said, we've got to protect the house first, and we have to make sure that the decisions we make are good, and from a PR standpoint, and from everything is on the up and up and done correctly. And of course, we're good businessmen and we're moral, ethical people, and we want to do business with other good people, and not where there's situations that could come up. So I think when that time comes, we'll have more information. We'll know more about what's what and what isn't, and that's something we can definitely take to the community and ensure that it's, that everyone's on the same page, that it's a good choice versus a bad choice.
Okay, thank you. Another question from the community. It says, can you ask them if they will offer wallet-to-wallet transfer fee free BS? Let me go try to understand this question first. Transfer fee free BSC. They're coming out with the wallet themselves, and I would like to vet how good is it first. I don't know. Like, I don't really understand the question here. Let me link it.
I'll make up a question. I'll make up the answer to the question. No, I think pretty much what you're asking is, obviously there's a 20% tax for buys, 20% tax for sells. Am I going to get taxed 20% for transfers? Especially if it's wallet to wallet. That first piece of a question is something that was posed to us. We had some very heated debate over that, because from an investor standpoint, if your wallet becomes compromised, you need to transfer. If something happens, there could be a need for a transfer, and so we understand that, because again, we're from this space. We've invested in this space. We understand those considerations. From the other aspect, from a project aspect, the question becomes: does that create a way to divert the system, to make side deals, create a secondary market that circumvents the tax system? Now, the easy answer to that is yes. Yes, it does. And I think I'll stand by that all day long, that it does. Now, how much of a problem that is, or how big of a circumvention that is, I don't think any of us can really 100% know what that is, but 20% tax can be substantial. And so, I mean, if it's a 2%, is it a big deal? No. If it's a 20%, could someone see that as being a big deal enough to circumvent and, be trying to offer a person-to-person transfer tax-free? That's definitely a possibility. And so, in order to keep everything in a professional and on the up and up type of consistent manner, we ultimately chose to keep the transfer tax, because we could not have there be a circumvention around the tax system. I mean, it's there for a reason. That's kind of the primary purpose of its structure, as to provide rewards. And I think personally, I mean, I can't speak for Mason and Ross, but if somebody's willing to cheat on a $20 or $10 BUSD reward game that you put in your Telegram room, I think that there's an issue that would occur with circumvention when it's dealing with investor money and bigger money than that. And so we have to posture ourselves to not have that happen. Now, on the flip side, wallets, protection, a compromised wallet, things like that happen, is that something that can be a consideration? And I absolutely think so. And I think our whole core team agrees that can be something that would need to be addressed. We have even considered that we could have maybe even a transfer day or something like that, where transfers can happen without tax or something along those lines. We're still trying to field exactly the best way to play that, but those are kind of all the considerations that come into play from a investor standpoint, and then so that you can see how it plays into our project standpoint.
All right, by the way, guys, so my smoker went off. I'm trying to smoke some brisket, and I got to fill some pellets. So I'll be back in a minute or two. And can you guys, meanwhile, if anyone has any questions, ask some questions in voice chat. I'll be back in a minute.
All right. There we go. He's gone. We're running our own room now. If any of you guys have any questions, please feel free to one at a time ask them, and I'll try to field them the best I can.
Hey, Chris, are you able to talk about the white paper video real quick?
Sure. We have a white paper video in our community room, and which you all are always invited to come to our community, check it out. We do fun things on a daily basis. Today we're doing poker, just fun poker for bragging rights for the week. But we have a video white paper and a video explanation on our sell list. So if you look at our white paper, it describes a lot of different things. Some people, English might not be your primary language. It might be some difficult things to understand as well too, if you're more new to crypto versus somebody who's well versed in crypto, and this isn't your first rodeo, as we say here in Texas. So with that being the case, Ross put together a very potent and easy to understand explanation of that video, or in that video, as well as one that specifically talks about sell lists, and he even shows a real nice visual of what that means and how that kind of splits what that problem is and how we're impacting that problem to eliminate those contract sells. And they're very, very good. Is there any other specific question about that white paper video?
No, I just wanted everybody to know about it.
Okay. Yeah. So it's really good.
Yeah. By the way, I'm back.
Oh, okay. That's quick. We didn't get away with too much with you gone.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, we did talk about this previously about the whole contract sell. And the whole the uniqueness of what they're doing. Basically, you won't see the contract sales on the chart, and at the end of the day, it's not like a magic system where all of a sudden it's going to reduce sell pressure or anything like that from contract selling. Basically, those tokens still have to be sold, but it's just the way it's going to be done. It's going to be done differently than a contract's going to accumulate tokens and sell them, because that could create the FUD. So it's more about like a perception type of thing, right? More about emotions and perceptions, and because a lot of times there's FUD when contract sells, and if especially the settings are not correct, and it sells like every other sell, or like there's huge sells because it doesn't sell often enough, and then the devs aren't around to explain what's happening, and then I've seen projects actually get ruined by this because the devs are busy or they're doing something else during the launch day, and the contract selling because there's a lot of volume, so it's selling a lot of tokens. And then people start FUDing about it, and there's no one there to explain it. And the FUD causes investors to sell, and then the price drops below pre-sale price, and there's more FUD, and then it just kind of goes downhill from there. So it's more of like a feature just to help out. It looks better on the chart, right? It's not like a magic system. It's not like they're pulling anything out of their magic box and free tokens or anything like that. You still got to sell those tokens to get in a way to get the taxes for it, but it is a better way of doing things.
We actually won't be having to sell the tokens. What will accumulate in our wallet is BNB. So basically what's
happening is, so here's the way it works, right? So normally, like let's say you have 20% tax, but when someone sells, they sell 80% of what they're trying to sell, and the 20% goes to the contract. And then that 20% gets built up from multiple people selling. Eventually, the contract sells all of it. But what you guys are doing, when someone sells, they sell all 100% of it at once. So it's still sold. It's just sold right at the time that the person is selling, and then you get the BNB right away. That's the difference, right?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Yeah, with the sales. Yeah, so.
But yeah. I think I do agree. It's still definitely a better way of doing things than the conventional contract. Yeah.
One of the things I want to add too, since we're fielding some questions, is that we actually will have some exclusive NFTs that there's not a specific use case or they do this or that crazy, but we have a very limited supply of 3 different ones that we're calling Boost Your Bag. So pretty much people can buy one, or they're stackable. You can buy two or all three if you can get your hands on them. But we will offer staking on day one. There will be one that will give a pretty much, it's a private pool that if you are a holder of that specific NFT, you can go to that private pool, and it's 2x on your APY, so double your APY return. There's another one that we're going to utilize that if you have it, it will get you, we're calling it like an owner suite, a VIP. Pretty much you can get inside information, beta test, and it will also get you involved with some of the different perks that we receive that we're not going to personally receive as a core team, but pass along to investors, as well as like what I was talking about with the launch pad, where there's that group that would be able to benefit from the tokens that come to our launch pad. There's one like that. And then right now we have the community voting on one as well, that right now it looks like, I think the on kind of what value they would want to see, that they would want to benefit from if they could. And I think the one right now is pretty much a 0% buy tax. So pretty much if you hold that NFT, your transaction hash plus you holding that NFT can get you reimbursed the tokens or BNB that you were shorted, or excuse me, the tokens that you were shorted from that buy transaction because of the tax, like a reimburse of those. So those are going to be in very limited quantity, where we will release it all of a sudden at once, and it'll be first come, first serve, and they'll disappear real quick. But I'm making people aware of it right now because it's going to be a real interesting way to boost your bag, and especially if you're a long-term holder, you can get a lot of benefit from that. They will be tradable, so you can resell them. Our analysis is showing that there'll be a pretty interesting market, secondary market for people to be able to buy, sell, and trade these to get the boost in whatever it is they want to get their boost in. Increase your vault and increase your investment return.
Okay, awesome. All right, so now let's go to the question that I actually had previously. All right, so get ready for this question. So,
okay,
who is going to lose money for your project?
Who is going to lose money on our project?
Yes.
That is a good question. Well, I will preface by saying that, what I'm about to say is not financial advice, and you need to do your own due diligence. We're all investors and we're all adults here. So, you need to understand what we're offering and bringing to market. Understand your investment and your strategy and what you're doing and what's going on in the general financial markets. That's important. But with that being said, out of all the projects out there and out of the ones that are looking to come out, and then us included, there's a certain standard that investors are employing right now, and it's not a great standard. It's not a great standard of practice. It's not really a great standard of trading. And what we're looking to do is turn that standard on its head and raise it. We want to raise the bar on what a project should do, what a project is doing. And, from everything from how we're put together, who we are as individuals, to everything that we're looking to do, everything we're bringing day one, the quality, the branding, the transparency, the value we're bringing to the holders just for holding, and just like the NFTs I just said, ways that you can boost and enhance in certain ways if it fits your strategy. These are all mechanisms we're putting in place to make ourselves successful, but that makes the investor successful. And the investor is our priority. The real commodity here is the investor. They are what makes this whole thing happen. If there was not one investor, crypto would not happen, period. So with all of that being said, the person who is not going to gain from us is the person who sells quickly, the person who has the fear and uncertainty that has the FUD. And there's nothing that anyone can do to change how you invest. That's for every investor to be able to do, and to control themselves, to understand their investments and all of that. So, but we're putting together a quality project. We're putting together a lot of utility. We're doing everything that we can to be successful. Even in this market, there's projects out there, there's businesses out there that are successful, and we plan on being one of them and showing people that. So the ones that stand to lose are going to be the ones that buy and then sell just like that. Not to say that if you get into pre-sale, you can't write it up and sell. Everyone has the right to do that. But if you want to maximize your benefit, hold. If you believe in the project, if you believe in the utilities, you believe in what we're doing and in our vision and everything we stand for, then hold and take advantage of all those free things that are coming your way. I mean, the Diamond Hands Heist is a 100 trillion token allotment. 10% of the total supply is going to be given out at 60 days to everyone who bought within the first 30 days and didn't sell. That's free. That's free for holding. As well as the rewards that accumulates will be given out at 120 days for those who didn't sell. And that's free in BUSD for holding. So, to get that kind of value, to sell before you have the opportunity to get that kind of value, that's every investor's decision. But I personally feel that people will be kicking themselves for selling early and maybe even selling at a loss when holding is holding. You do not lose money until you sell. You do not gain money until you sell. It's unrealized. It's unrealized loss. So you always want to continue. You always want to do your due diligence up front, but you always want to continue to analyze and assess your position and make sure that's the most correct position for you.
Okay, yeah, I like your answer, but I could have had a simpler one. Basically, the guys who buy high sell low.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes, But there's a lot that goes into that.
And I wanted to add something about that comment too. In most cases, your guys who buy high, they get discouraged because whales will start to sell, and you'll have your all-time high, and then it'll dip and it'll pretty much flatline until utilities are brought to market. And sometimes that can take 6 months. Sometimes, we've seen projects that it's a year before utilities come. So you've basically got all these folks that bought at all-time high, and they're just sitting here flatlined. And what happens is they get discouraged and they sell. So, a big mission of ours, and what you'll see obviously in our white paper, is coming to market with all these utilities, revenue and volume generating utilities that basically, if you buy all-time high, our goal is to keep pumping that chart. So there's, you don't get in that position to where you feel like, all right, I got, this project's toast, I got to dump right now. So we're trying to eliminate that issue with the, with the folks in the past that have bought at all-time high and then end up dumping and, taking a huge loss.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. And like I said, I always say all the time in here, investing, especially BSC, it's a zero-sum game, right? For someone to win, someone else has to lose. Because at the end of the day, that BND that you're all making or we're all making, it's not it's not just mined out of thin air. It's actually from other investors or from people buying high, selling low, things like that. Because if everyone was smart and bought at the low and didn't sell until they're high, that would not really work, because where's the BNB coming from, right? And basically that means the chart has to be infinitely going up and up and up, but that's just not how it works, because usually the higher something moves, the harder it drops, right? The harder it crashes. So it's better to be like a slow growth, like more sustainable type of thing, where you have like, you know, higher highs, higher lows, than like a huge moon, and then people buy at the top, and then it drops 80%, and it takes like half a year to recover, you know, and go back to all-time highs. So yeah, it's one thing I don't agree with though, really, is you don't really lose until you sell, especially in BSC. With stocks, it's a little bit different, you know, with Forex sometimes, because you could be down, and if you're doing like, you know, blue chip stocks, yeah, you might be down, but then you're not really losing because it's going to eventually recover, right? But in BSC, most projects, once you're down, once they're dropping, once they're down like 90%, there's no really hope of recovery. So you pretty much lost, you know, even without selling, you know, because it's going to go to zero a lot of times. Like I said, like stocks really don't go to zero, at least blue chips, but BSC tokens do. So that's why I normally would not agree with the whole you don't lose until you sell, because technically you do, because at any point that you do sell, it would be a loss. So I view things, yeah, I'm not making any money until I sell too. So I look at it more conservative way. I look at it like I agree with you that part. You don't really make any money until you sell either. So if you're up like 20x, yeah, good for you, but you're not really, you're not locking in those profits. So there's people that went up 100x and they wanted 1000x, and then they're down, you know, because after it dropped 99%.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree with that part. You don't really make any money until you sell, but I don't think it works the same way on the opposite end. I think you don't really lose until you sell. That is only certain projects, and you know, just the way the VC space is, most projects do not survive. So yeah, there is the 1%, right? 1% of this is actually would be true, but most projects, you know, I would not recommend, oh yeah, you hold it because you don't really lose to yourself, because most often than not, it's going to continue dropping, and then eventually the devs are going to give up and rug it, or they're just going to like let it go to zero because they run away. And that's the issue with this space, is a lot of these projects, the people controlling them, or the CEOs, they really have no business of running a company. They have no idea how to run a company, how to do marketing, how to do anything, and a lot of them actually have not put any upfront costs of their own pocket, and that's the big difference between like a real business and BSC space. When a real business, most often you're either borrowing money from your friends or family or yourself, that you're starting a business, so you have skin in the game. In this space, a lot of times the devs just don't have no idea how to do anything. They collect money from investors without any risk to themselves, and so when the project is having hurdles, there's issues, they just give up, because in the end of the day, they're not really, you know, motivated, because it's not their money.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Yeah.
Exactly. Just because anyone could really raise a private sale or pre-sale doesn't mean they should. And that's kind of what we try to really invest in the team more than the actual even use case itself, is because at the end of the day, the team is what's going to provide that use case, provide those promises, right? Because anyone can make a promise and have the coolest ideas ever, but if you don't think they're going to be able to you know, deliver on the promises, then there's no point to even listening to them, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, when you get into quality, I mean, and then too, you know, you unrealized gains, I think there's an innate value, even in this space, in crypto, there's an innate value, I think, in the cryptos. I think the ones that you see go to zero are the ones that probably didn't have value in the first place anyways, or they lost that value. And that's why really the standard has to be raised, because I don't think you would see a company tradable stock market that didn't have any use, didn't have any value, and that's what they measure it by, is by its value like that. So I think our crypto space investors need to look around, look at what actually has value, what doesn't, because I think the ones that actually have value, that bring value and have actual utility, are the ones that can not only just weather tough situations and weather the cycles in our financials. But, you know, they can weather a storm that if they go down or they take a hit, they have the ability to grow past that. The ones that go to zero are the ones that have no ability to do anything.
Yeah, it's usually all just fluff and empty promises, and they never even had a plan, or they never even were thinking of doing anything they promised. Like all these play to earn games, most of them never actually had a game to begin with. It's all just like fluff, or just paid someone to make a little ad or a demo, and that's it. And most of these projects are going to fail, not because of investors, but because the devs never actually intended to even release a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed.
All right. So like, I wanted to talk about one more thing about the diamond heist. So you said you were mentioning 60 days and 120. So
Mhm.
are you not going to get your BUSD rewards until 120 days, or will you be getting them every hour, every couple hours? I was trying to like clarify what that means, and also the diamond heist, how that's going to work. Is it going to be basically like all those taxes will be collected for the 5% unlock the vault thing, and then at the end of 60 days it'll all be distributed, or how will it work?
Well, the Diamond Hands heist is going to be 10% of those tokens are going to go to a wallet. They will be able to receive. They will be able to receive rewards. So rewards will build up in that wallet as well. So people who will qualify for the Diamond Hands heist are going to be people that are in private sale, pre-sale, and people who bought within the first 30 days. So those are the overall group that will qualify. Now, to continue to qualify and to actually be able to make that group on day 60, you will have to not sell a single token. So a true diamond hand, pretty much. Now, you can increase your bag, because on day 60, what we're going to do is this disbursement is going to be based similar to like how rewards work. It's based on your bag size. It's going to be proportionate. So increasing your bag size will increase your proportion. So really, it just depends what your prerogative is. If you know you're a diamond hand holder and that's the value that you want, that's what you're going after, then increasing your bag will increase that proportion. So on day 60, what will be dispersed will be the tokens themselves, based on those people who were the finalized ones that fully qualify and made it. That'll be dispersed between them based on that bag size, and there you go. Now, all the rewards, those juicy rewards that built up over those first 60 days, those are what will be dispersed at day 120. So everyone who's in the first 60 days, private sale, pre-sale, and who bought within the first 60 days, will be able to qualify for that 120 day. And again, same thing. You can't sell one token, and they'll get to split those BUSD rewards.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Like, we have a similar diamond hands for our token that we currently have, and yeah, that's a great idea. Basically, like, does that mean that you can't have any sales at all, like 0 tokens?
Yep, that we're looking for. What we're looking for on the back end, we can see everyone who buys, sells. We can see how those tokens move. And we're looking for people who do not sell a single token. So, and it's okay to stake them, or if you use that NFT and you get into that private staking pool and you're doubling your staking APY, that's absolutely fine. We know that, and so on the back end we'll be able to make sure we're C, because usually when you stake those tokens leave your wallet, and we'll be able to see that and know that that they're not gone, but that they're staked, and that's absolutely fine. That doesn't hurt you at all. So even if day 60 comes and you're staking, that doesn't hurt you. That doesn't get held against you at all.
Okay, cool, awesome. I like that. That's a cool idea. Yeah, that should definitely incentivize people to hold, because I mean, like, we see now with our token too. Like, I think we had like 60 guys in private sale, and about 30 out of 60 are holding without selling a single token, even though it went up like 70x.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. All right, guys. So, does anyone have any questions? Let's do a couple community questions before we wrap it up.
All right.
Will the APY be based on like a market average?
No, I believe it's going to be a straight number. So I don't think it's one of those things that the more people who jump in there, it dilutes it.
If I meant to starting APY, will it be like an average of the other staking pools in the market?
I'm not sure. Our last meeting with Brew Labs, Mason or Ross, do you guys have an answer to that?
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's all going to be determined on our token allocation, and obviously how many people enter in the staking pool. So we're in conversations right now with our staking partners to figure out what that's going to look like.
It's really hard to start with a fixed number.
Yeah, I thought you were talking. I thought you were talking about the private pool. The private pool is going to be a little bit different because we'll know exactly how many people have that NFT, how many people are going to be in that private pool, what the percentage is. So that's already going to be. All of those are not variables. Those will be knowns. If you're referring to just the normal staking, then yeah, that's based on how many you're staking and all of that, and that's based on how much we're going to allocate to it to get a certain, all of that will come into play. So those are a lot of variables.
Most tokens that I've seen lately, there's usually a reduced tax when you enter in resale. Now, that's probably not an option, right?
A reduced tax when they enter a pre-sale. I don't believe these are all airdropped, so you should receive the amount that you should receive as far as tokens being allocated to you goes. I don't think you're. Is that what you're talking about? Whether you're going to be taxed when you receive your tokens?
Usually there's reduced tax or no tax in pre-sale, but on launch, then it's 20%. That's what I was asking.
Oh, yeah, exactly. These tokens are going to be allocated to you, and you shouldn't be taxed by them to receive them. So the amount that you are set to receive is the amount you should receive. It's just we're spreading it out, and there's strategic reasons for that. For one, our strategic buyback and burn is we have to prime that pump, so to say, and offset some of those that any sell pressure that comes from that, not from the contract, but that comes from sells. Because obviously, even with all these incentives, there are still people who it's their prerogative to do a quick flip, and there's nothing you can do about that. We're providing the value and all that stuff on our end, but ultimately it's the investor that decides what they're going to do. But we wanted to reduce that pressure over the course of days instead of having to try to mess with it over the course of hours.
All right, any more questions, guys? All right, let's do this. So we'll be doing the giveaway after the AMA, and I'll get everyone to join our Telegram.
Mm-hmm.
So we could wrap it up. We'll end the recording. You guys can still hang around if there's any more questions, if you want. And
yeah.
So last thing about the whitelist spots. So I see on the website it said 350 spots, and presale is going to be 5 BNB max contribution. So is that the number? Like that's the firm number for whitelist spots?
Yes. Yeah. There's 2 tiers. There'll be 250 tier 1 and 100 of tier 2.
Okay. And how many are you going to give out to this AMA?
How many did we did we set up a certain amount already?
I don't think we talked about that. Normally we get like around like 10 or so, 10, 15.
Well, I don't know if we have 10 or 15 that to just give like that, but you know what we'll do is we can do I think we're on the edge of maybe tier 2. I think we can give maybe 5 of the tier 2, and what I'd like to do too is maybe we can give those NFTs to boost your bag. Give 5 exclusive spots to where you still have to pay for them, but because they're going to go so quick, these 5 lucky people will be able to pick and choose which ones they want, or if they want 2 of them, or if they want all 3 of them. And that way they don't have to come rushing in and be watching every 5 seconds for when they get released.
When are the NFTs coming out?
That's what we're not telling people. We're gonna probably start it here in about a week, but to make it fair, besides the people who win to get in, it's just going to be released, and it'll be first come first serve.
And how many NFTs, and what's the price?
We're looking to do 3 different ones where we are going to do a real small quantity of release of them. We're still kind of talking through that spot of it, but the one for the staking is 1 BNB. We're doing a community one, which is the no tax on buys, pretty much getting you the tokens that you were taxed on the buys, airdrop back to you, 1 BNB, and then that VIP one is a steal at 2 BNB, because it's going to have a lot of different benefits to it, and especially tied to the launchpad.
And you can only buy those NFTs if you have like the whitelist, or you said the 5.
No, this is anybody who wants to end up being an investor. There you go. It's just we have so many people interested in being investing in our project that there's not enough NFTs for everybody. So what we're going to do is we're just going to throw them out there, and then the rest will go. It'll be a pre-sale, and then as soon as we have them fully minted and ready to go, you'll receive them, and then from there it's secondary market. They're tradable, so you can do what you want with them, or utilize them and sell them. It's completely up to you. You just purchased an asset that will help you appreciate an investment.
Okay, but you said there's like 5 people that you could choose that's gonna be able to get it guaranteed. It's like almost like
yeah, 5 people from your
sale.
community. Yep.
Okay.
And they'll have a guaranteed spot to pick which one they want, or if they want 2 of them or 3 of them, whatever it is that they want out of the 3, they will have a spot with us to get one.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's do this. You want to do like a final conclusion, summary or statement, and then we'll end the AMA, and then we'll do the giveaways.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank you guys for having us and for listening in on this AMA. I appreciate all the questions as well too. I ask you to do your due diligence on us. Please review our white paper. Please take a look at our community in Telegram. There's all the answers and resources are there as well. You can always reach the core team if you have any questions. We are hurling towards launch. We're gaining a lot of traction. We're bringing a lot of great value. That is our number one thing, is to bring value and transparency and professionalism. So please review and come by. Our community on a daily basis does different things. Today we did poker. We have open mic nights and gaming days, and all sorts of different things. So always feel free to stop by and say hi. Our community is, they're the best. So feel free to come by. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, DM me, or any of the other core team or our mods.
Okay, awesome. And thanks for coming. And this is definitely an enjoyable AMA. I'm actually very, very excited about this project, which is something I don't say very often, especially
I appreciate that.
Lately. And the NFTs, the pre-sale. The only thing is the market kind of sucks right now, right? But you guys aren't launching anyways in at least a month or so. So hopefully the market will be nice and stable by then, or maybe even recovering. We'll see. But you know, as long as it's not dumping on the day of your pre-sale, usually it's not that big of an issue. And you should also give people some time, about a month or so, to get their cash out or B&Bs or whatever they need to do, because like I feel like the market dumping, like it's affecting the guys that are holding lots of B&B, right? But if you're holding BUSD or cash, then it's actually a good thing for you. So
exactly.
I myself, I'm still been mostly in cash since about December. Just kind of selling my B&B as like every little, because right now we're in like in a bearish market. So I've been trying to sell the little pumps on the way down, and I still haven't really decided to start buying back in majorly yet. I'm still waiting for about 200, 220 level. But yeah, man, like in a month or so, hopefully the market will be nice and bullish, and because that would definitely help with the project also. So thanks, guys. Thanks for coming.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Where do you think B&B is going to go to on the short term?
Like short term, with the next 6 months?
Sure. Like next 3 months.
I think there's a high chance it could reach around 200. I'm still fairly bearish, mainly because the U.S. economy and the inflation and the stock market, and guys are saying, oh yeah, Bitcoin is the hedge against inflation, or is the hedge against the government, but really it's not. If the stock market tanks, Bitcoin tanks twice as hard, and then altcoins 5 times harder than Bitcoin. So yeah, I'm still not seeing like a recovery yet. Like especially I do think they're gonna have to increase interest rates again, the Fed.
Oh yeah.
Because inflation is not slowing down, and that's just gonna slow things down even more. And then the stock market's gonna still be dropping, and then of course crypto is like the most volatile asset. So I feel like when things are shitting the fan, money's moved from the most volatile to the safest, right? So and crypto is probably the most volatile. So it's not like when people think, oh yeah, market's gonna crash, crypto's gonna be there, because no. Like look at 2020, right? Look at 2020, March 2020. See what Bitcoin did. So yeah, so I do think that B&B has a good chance of being under $200 in the next 2 months. That's why I'm still not really buying it. Like the 250 level is pretty good, but I do think it's gonna. I mean, it still might go to 250. Like right now, it might go to, then it goes back to 300, and then the next dip is gonna go down to 220. Because I've been trying to sell like above 300 and buying it like small. Because my strategy is I always try to not run out of B&B or crypto to sell, and also not run out of cash or BUSD or stable coins to buy back. So it's like for either way, what happens for me is good either way. Like if it drops, I buy some back. If it goes up, I have some to sell. So that's kind of been my strategy last 6 months.
All right. I was just wondering what you're thinking B&B is going to do, but yeah, unfortunately, the financial market here in the U.S. They gave out so much money, and they're paying the price for it in the inflation now, that raising interest rates and having to take that money off the table. I don't know if a lot of people realize that to take that money off the table, you have to cause defaults. You have to cause money and debt and notes and all that stuff to get yanked off. And, it's that takes money out of people's pockets, out of your typical investors and speculators and stuff. So, until that settles, and it's going to be tough to see things go up and it to be, roses and sunshine until that settles and they deflate that.
Yeah, but on the other hand, though, like if there is something that happens overnight, something crazy, like the further it drops, or like the bigger of a crash, or like a flash crash that happens, then the more likely that is the bottom, and that it will bounce hard, like in March 2020, right, when it crashed like crazy in a couple days, and then then it went to all-time highs basically.
Yeah.
And even the stock market, like the Nasdaq, the NAS 100, the US 100, it more than doubled since then. So it's like, yeah, the further something drops, the more, because people are waiting on the sidelines too. I mean, I'm not the only one who's thinking this, right? There's
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of money that's waiting for a crash. And the thing is, the public is usually always wrong. So if everyone thinks it's gonna like crash and go to like, I don't know, $100 per BNB, or stock market's gonna crash, 70%, it's probably not gonna happen. That's the thing you have to think about too. The public is generally not right. So the majority is not correct, because the market is designed for the few to make the money, not the majority. Because if it was that easy, if everyone's right, then it wouldn't work, right? It's always like the 10% is making the money and the 9% is going to be losing money.
Yeah.
So that's what people have to like watch out to. Because remember when Bitcoin was bullish, like at 60K, everyone's like, it's going to go to 100K, go 100K, remember like every time it's in bullish market, the moon boys come out and like, oh, 100K next month. And then it was the bear market. Everyone's like, oh, 20K. And usually they're always wrong. It doesn't really go to 20K. It doesn't go to 100K, So that's why, it's very important just to kind of, I would say, do the opposite of what most people are thinking. But yeah, man, awesome. And thanks for the AMA. Enjoyable. We'll have the YouTube video out, and we'll be doing the giveaway right after this. And you can still hang out, talk. Just if there's any more questions, and I'll get everyone to join the community. So by the way, guys, everyone join their community right now and say Anti-Rugger sent me, and I'll be looking for that for the winners to claim your prizes. You have to do that. You have to be in their community. So thanks. I'm gonna end the recording right now. So see you on good luck with the pre-sale and with the NFTs. I'm definitely interested, especially with the NFTs.
Okay.
And basically, just say, I think the slash doesn't work in your group. Oh, that's another thing I would recommend for your Telegram channel. It seems like it keeps on deleting things every time I said something, or if you have links. I think it's a little bit too strict, maybe.
Oh, is it not? Yeah, I mean, we have it to where certain things, it won't post certain things. Is that what we're trying to do?
Yeah, even like if you go to slash filters or like slash rows or anything like that, like price or any of that stuff. I don't think any of those are working.
Well, you just need to talk to Rose's husband, Mason. He is he knows her.
All the filters work. You just don't have to put the slash in front of it. So if you were looking for a normal filter, you just type it in without the slash. We just have the links disabled currently. That's something we can evaluate opening back up though.
No, because normally sometimes I do slash filters because that's like a default rows setting.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that part, it gets basically anything with the slash gets automatically deleted.
Yeah, no, that's actually something to look into because it's hard for people to figure out, what filter to use if they can't pull up the filter list. So I appreciate you bringing it up.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no problem. All right, awesome, guys. I'll be ending the recording, and this should be up on YouTube in a couple hours. And thanks. Enjoyable AMA.
Thanks, guys.
And good luck.